Welcome back to Hardball. Our next award goes to the best flip-flop on 2020, a testament to the ongoing will they or won't they of the Democratic nomination fight for 2020. Our first contender is Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke, who definitively said he was not running for president before the midterm started.
I will not be a candidate for president in 2020. Amy and I made a decision not to rule anything out.
That was fast. Next is New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, who promised she'd finish a 6-year term in the Senate. Let's watch.
Can you tell New Yorkers who plan to vote for you on November 6th that you will, if reelected, serve out your 6-year Senate term?
I will.
Midterms are over. What are you concentrating on now? Is there another election that you might be concentrating on?
I will promise you I will give it a long, hard thought of consideration.
And our final nominee is Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown, who originally said running for president didn't interest him.
I don't like the idea of running for president. I don't really have any real interest in that. We're seriously thinking about it. We're seriously talking about it.
Sam Stein, Jennifer Rubin, Jason Johnson, Dana Milbank. The song was "What a Difference a Day Made" by Dinah Washington. What do you think, Dana? Because these people flip-flop so mechanically. It's such a joke. Bill Clinton did this years ago.
I'm shocked that politicians are flip-flopping, but I think there's really only one answer to this question. I mean, the Beto thing was in the context of him running for, expecting if he won the Senate, would he not run for president? The Sherrod Brown thing is kind of equivocal. But Kirsten Gillibrand, she said one thing, then she said exactly the other after she was elected, as if the Democratic Party right now is clamoring for a pro-Wall Street Democrat. So I just think that takes the cake.
Are you tough?
I believe it's Beto for this reason. The kind of gall and confidence and arrogance that it takes to go from, I don't think I'm running, and then you lose, and then say, I'm going for a bigger prize. You need that kind of arrogance to run for president. That is a flip of tremendous proportions.
I give it actually to Sherrod Brown because he was so clever. He didn't say he wasn't running. He said he didn't have an interest in it. So now he's developed an interest, so he's running. So it was actually
he didn't like the idea of running, not that he didn't want to be president.
Right.
Exactly.
His interest changed.
Yes, his interest changed. When you're older, you get interested in different things. So
hobbies.
Yes, exactly.
I disagree, not to be too lawyerly, but he may still not be interested in it. He could be compelled to do it for things other than personal interest. So in that way, I have to give it to Kirsten Gillibrand because she was in a race that basically was meaningless. She didn't have to make that promise to woo voters. She was going to win that contest, but she did it anyway, and then she flip-flopped.
So maybe now an interviewer we all get to do it. How do you lock the person in so they can't get out? Put them in the handcuffs. How do you have them say, do you swear to God?
Right, you bring out a notary, you have them stamp it right there, you can't run.
You show them all the previous videos, you show them all the other things they've done that made it abundantly clear. I have this experience with watching Elizabeth Warren. Oh, you're not running for president, but you're speaking at HBCUs, you're making plans to go to South Carolina, but yeah, you're not running. You have to give all of the evidence beforehand, then get them to deny it.
And she's going to the historically black colleges.
Yes, I was just at Morgan last week.
Well, you would do that in South Carolina, wouldn't you?
Yes,
that would be the smart move. I think it'd be great to say something. Okay, right here, I want you to sign this document.
Yeah, right.
I mean, anyway, we're going to see who flip-flopped, the worst or the best.
I'm so nervous.
What was yours?
Sam, I think Sam's ahead of the rest of us on these.
A tie.
What?
How boring. How boring. Up next, anyway, best flip-flop of 2020, we have a tie. Beto O'Rourke and Sherrod Brown.
There we go.
What do you think of that? Do you think that's all right?
I think that's fine. It's Sherrod, my former senator, who I've always thought was going to run, so I never believed him. And Beto, who, he's basically unemployed, so he's got nothing else to do.
Well, it could be that there's a dynamic here, that when he got reelected by a big number, a huge number, that's when he really was, what you were mentioning, he might get actually drafted. Because they need somebody from that industrial area that will appeal to those, white working guys that can flip back to the Democrats.
Maybe the judges were thinking best flip-flop in the sense of who did it the most deftly.
Right.
So
That's
maybe
how
I was looking at it the other way, that Gillibrand was the worst flip-flop.
Yeah, no,
so what would be a deft way of preparing yourself so you wouldn't be seen flipping?
Well, I think
Sherrod Brown
he's very clever.
Who likes the idea of running for president? It's terrible.
He employed a level of linguistic gymnastics, the likes of which we don't often see.
We're going back to our first category of divergence. Next, we have our award for the Trumpiest thing said by someone not named Trump. And first, there's former Vice President Joe Biden, who told a crowd in Montana, they quote, "I think I'm the most qualified person in the country to be president. Actually, I think he believes that. He may be right. Next, there's Georgia Governor-elect Brian Kemp doing his best Trump impression in a campaign ad earlier this year.
I got a big truck, just in case I need to round up criminal illegals and take them home myself.
And finally, we have Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who attempted to give the president who called her low IQ his own nickname. Let's watch.
This is a dishonorable human being. He is a con man. He came to this job as a con man. I really call him, Don the con man.
I think she was into a build-up that didn't quite hit the hard there. But I think there was this guy Kemp, I don't know. The truck, and first of all, the most offensive thing he can say, we can argue about immigration, illegal immigration, but calling people illegals reduces them to not even beings. They're just illegals. That's all they are. And he used that term because he knew it was nasty.
And I saw that in Georgia. And this is on top of, remember him also doing a commercial where he had a potentially loaded gun in front of a 16-year-old talking about whether or not that kid could ask his wife to date. Brian Kemp is the clearest example of I'm going to act like Trump but lack any semblance of the charisma that made this man capable of being president of the United States.
Is this Lester Maddox?
Lester Maddox, the suburban cul-de-sac version of Donald Trump.
See, I don't think of it as I don't think of that as Trumpian because
the donut version.
Yeah, the donut version.
I don't think of it as Trumpian because I don't foresee or could never see Trump getting into a pickup truck ever.
He loves trucks. He loves trucks.
It wasn't original. Scott Brown up in Massachusetts got elected the first time.
But that's not a Trumpian thing. Trump would get into his helicopter to
I give Maxine Waters an A for effort. Like, if you see what she said, it was good. But the delivery was faltering. She needs to hammer away at that. She needs to practice more, and maybe next year she will be able to get that. But I think Kemp probably gets it because that's sort of the emblem of what the Republicans have come. They're all doing it, but he did that just right with the pickup and the accent.
Do you feel that Trump is not used to rough terrain?
Doesn't want to get his nails
and I'm glad he went to Arlington the other day, the cemetery, to respect our fallen soldiers, but he seemed like he needed to have special shoes to go over there. Like, this is rough territory for him. Anyway, the Trumpiest thing, how about Biden?
Nah.
Why? Because
Biden actually is qualified.
He does say what he thinks. That's how he gets in trouble.
He's done worse.
Right, exactly.
It's sort of endearing, compared to this guy.
Uncle Joe.
There he is.
The Trumpiest thing said by someone not Trump, Brian Kemp. Don't we agree? Well, up next, the oddest moment in Trump world this year. There were a lot to choose from, of course.